All right, hello and welcome to the Media Center at the 2025 Standard Portland Classic. I'm joined here by LPGA Hall of Famer Nancy Lopez, a guest of the Standard this week. First things first, just talk about the experience of hearing you'd have the opportunity to be here at this event and what your reaction was.
You know, when they invited me to come, I was thrilled. Of course, I was like quickly looking at my calendar. Can I go? Can I go? This is one of my favorite places. I was telling someone there's three places that I loved when I played on the LPGA Tour the most because I always wanted to sign up as soon as I knew the dates. But it was here, Toledo, and Rochester. Those are my three favorites, and I always wanted to play in those tournaments because, you know, there's golf courses that you really love to play, and Columbia Edgewater is one of my favorites. I did win the U.S. Junior here when I was 17, and have so many great memories of those years. And then when I played on the LPGA Tour, I don't know if I ever missed one, but I wouldn't have missed one on purpose for sure. And then, you know, the Standard coming in and becoming a title sponsor, you know, thank them so much because I almost get a little emotional because, you know, when you love a place that you played all your career, you kind of want the next generation of players to feel the same way that you did about the event. And to come back and, you know, because I was here a few years ago and then I didn't get invited, but I know there were a lot of things going on. It was just nice to be invited back. I was thrilled and really wanted to accept it. And then today I got to play in the Pro-Am, and I was so excited to play on this golf course again because it's in great shape. The greens are beautiful, and I had great company when I was out there, so it was really a fun day for me. And the weather was beautiful. It wasn't 99, which is good, but it was it was a perfect day of golf.
And you've touched on it a little bit, but this is our 75th anniversary year, and we've talked a lot about celebrating that. What do you think that this event in particular means to the history of the LPGA?
Well, God, it's been, gosh, how long has this tournament been?
This is the 53rd year.
53rd. That's a long time to have a tournament that keeps going. You know, just I'm proud that and hope that I contributed in my career to help this tour grow because that was always my goal. You know, to be able to help the tour get bigger and better and see the purses growing and see all the great players. And today, you know, playing with the two players I played with, it was really fun. My ego was a little beat down because I remember when I used to hit it where they hit it. But it was just so much fun. So many great memories. And, you know, to be able to say I played on the tour almost 24 years, I'm proud of that. I love the tour. I feel like it's still my tour. I always try and promote the LPGA, and it's fun to see the ladies on television every weekend. I mean, when I was growing up, my dad would run in there and tell him, come and see, because the ladies were only on like maybe once every few months. I don't think they were even on once a month. But Joanne Carner was my idol, and my dad would say, come and see Joanne's playing. So I'd go in there and watch it, and you know, it's just nice to see the players, you know, every weekend, getting to watch them play and how talented they are. And they just keep helping the tour grow. And as we always used to say, and probably still feel that way, you know, we want to leave it better than we found it. And I think that's just so important.
And you played today with Kiara Romero in the Pro-Am. She just won the McCormick Award this morning for the
nice.
#1 amateur. I don't know if she talked about it at all,
No.
but what can you just say about her talent and just the rising talent too that maybe you've seen in watching on television?
It's amazing to watch the great play. And I think a lot of people relate with the lady professionals because they hit it a long way, and you know they're not very big, most of them, and they can still hit it good. And I think people that want to learn how to play golf can really watch them and try and emulate them because they hit a long way, and yet they don't swing as hard as the guys do, but yet they play a beautiful game of golf. And the finesse of the way they play around the greens now, I think it's even better than it used to be. They work on a lot of things that are important, and you know, just the talent. It's just fun to watch. I love it.
And touching back on your wins here that you had at the Portland Classic, what do you remember? Do you have any memories specifically about your wins?
You know, I can't remember, you know, the wins, but I remember how excited I was to play this golf course. You know, some golf courses suit your eye better than others, and I just always felt comfortable here. I always loved the visualization of hitting the shot. I think what this golf course does provide you too, as a player, is there's a reward risk factor here on a lot of holes. And it was fun to go for it. And then it was fun, not so fun. I didn't like to back off very often. I was always very aggressive. But it's a type golf course where you can choose your poison. You know, you can. It's just not right out there. You know, you hit your driver all the time, and the next shot, you have to really think your way around the course. And I like the little, you know, right to left holes, left to right. Greens, like I said, they're beautiful. I mean, to putt on greens like this every day, it was so much fun today because I could feel it was so pure, and I just love that part of golf. And so the memories of winning here are all good memories. And like I said, I just love the golf course, so I always felt comfortable. And when you're comfortable on a golf course, you always play it well. And that's, you know, the positive feelings you have as you go to an event, you know, and feel like you're going to play well. So it's fun to get back here.
And we spoke to Julie Inkster yesterday, who's playing in the field this week. We just actually showed her some footage, too, of her win here. And you were in the footage spraying champagne on her. But what was your reaction to hearing that she'd be playing this week?
I didn't know she was. I knew she was going to be here, but I didn't know she was playing. And I'm glad to see Julie playing. It's awesome because, you know, she still works on her game, and she still works a lot physically and trying to stay in good shape. And I mean, it'd be kind of fun if she won, you know, after you see Rose when he won last week, and, you know, see the older generation still playing. And, yeah, I mean, I'd love to see her win. I'd be rooting for her if she's coming down at the stretch.
And that win when she won, too, was to clinch the Hall of Fame, too, as well. Do you remember that at all? And I'm assuming you were out there, too, as maybe a fellow Hall of Famer.
You know, I can't remember, but, you know, Julie's always been a great friend of mine, and to watch her play and to play with her, you know, I've always joked with her, but it's really true that I out-hit her when I was on the LPGA Tour, and it kind of aggravates her when I say that, but and I have to tell you this story. We were playing at a tournament, I think it was Atlantic City, and you hit your drive and it's over a hill, so you don't really see the ball land. And she hit hers, and I thought it was center of the fairway, didn't see it land, and I hit mine. I thought it was a little right of center. I out-hit her about 15 yards, and so when we get over the hill, I'm walking to my ball because I know that I out-hit her, and mine was a little right. But as I almost got to my ball, she yelled, "Titleist 2," and I went, "Oops, that's my ball." So I start walking back to go, embarrassingly walking back, thinking, God, no, that just can't be my ball. So I'm almost to her, and she says, "Psych." And I wanted to punch her. And she said, "You didn't even give me a courtesy look." I'm like, I knew it wasn't my ball. So we've always kind of joked around like that, and I've always enjoyed playing with her, and she's just a hoot. And I think just a really good ambassador for the LPGA Tour.
That's awesome. I think we'll have to ask her about that, too, and see
No,
if she
she won't
remembers
remember it because I outdrove her. She's going to say she outdrove me.
Just a couple more from me, and then I'll pass it on to Maeve here. We have 21 different winners right now through 20 events this season. It's pretty remarkable. We've never had it like this. What can you just say, what does that say about the depth of the tour right now, and how many great players there are?
I mean, when you have 21 different winners, yeah, they're out there dogfighting it. You know, they're all trying to win, and there's so much talent. Just the two players, like I said, I played with today, how far they hit the ball, how accurate they are. It was amazing. So I'm not surprised. You know, you're going to have different winners all the time because they're all at that high standard and have great golf games. Of course, it's the one who gets it in the hole the fastest. So, yeah, that's pretty amazing. I didn't know that.
And then lastly, too, how proud are you to say of how much the LPGA has evolved and how much you've contributed to that growth over the past your whole career?
You know, it was. I mean, I was 20 when I won my 9 tournaments my rookie year, and you know, during that time, it was exciting. You know, you're 20 years old. I didn't have any money, and now I'm making money, and people want to watch me play golf. It was so much fun. And just, you know, there were days that, yeah, I might not have wanted to go to the press room when I didn't play well, but I knew it was my duty as a professional to do what I needed to do because it wasn't for Nancy Lopez, it was for my tour. And I think that players always need to remember that. Whatever we do reflects on how much better our tour is going to be, and it's, you're supposed to give. You're supposed to, it's your office. You come here, you want to make it better. Do what you need to do. Go to the press conferences. I mean, back in those days, I won 9 tournaments my rookie year. Well, the next year I had to go to 9 press conferences before the tournament. I mean, I went to support the tournament. So I traveled 9 different places to, get people ready and excited about the tournament. So it was really different. But, I'm glad I could do it. I was happy that I won 9 tournaments, and, just my way of giving back. But I loved it, and I've always been comfortable with people, and I talk a lot. So I'm comfortable with that, and it was just nice to, to be a part of helping the LPGA grow any way that I could, and hope that players always do that. The people that bring us to the tournaments, the sponsors that, put all this together, and all the other people, not just the title sponsors, but the volunteers and everybody, they don't have to do that. They don't have to come here and spend their money to help us have a great event. So, we need to always do what's right and work hard, so that we can have great tournaments and so that people want us to come back. That's so important.
Great. I'll give it to Maeve now.
My name is May from First Tee, Oregon, and I have some questions. When did you first start playing golf, and what made you love it?
I started playing golf. I was almost 8 years old, and I played. My mom and dad took me to the golf course with them. My mom wasn't a very good golfer, but she did it just to get out and have some exercise. My dad was a pretty good little amateur player, and he loved it. And I loved golf because my dad was a perfect golf dad. He loved golf, and he wanted me to love golf, because he believed that if I loved golf, I'd be great at it. And so I started playing, and he put me in my first Pee Wee tournament when I was 8. I lived in New Mexico, and I played in this tournament in Alamogordo, New Mexico, and it was 9 holes, 3 days. And it was a Pee Wee tournament. Pee Wee's only played 9 holes. So after 27 holes, I won the tournament, and I won this little bitty trophy, and it was just awesome because I had never had a trophy, and I won it. But I won the tournament by 110 shots. So I was really a little bit better than the other little peewees I was playing with. But it was like I got a great taste of winning, and it was really fun. But I loved the trophy. That meant more. I still have it, just little. But it was just fun to have a trophy and win it.
If you could tell your younger self one thing you wish you would have known back then to help you become a better golfer, what would it be?
Well, I always, my dad always taught me to enjoy golf, and I have a company now. My mantra is play happy, because my dad always said I played better when I played happy. Because I think once in a while he'd see me get a little angry, and if I did get angry, I didn't play as well. And I remember him asking me one day, he said, "Do you want to shoot 39 or do you want to shoot 40? And I said, "Well, Dad, I want to shoot 39. And he said, "Well, when you get mad, you shoot 40. So when he said that to me, I was like, ping, something went off in my head. I'm like, he is so right. Why do I want to get mad if I'm not going to play as well? And so from that day, I just thought my dad made a lot of sense. He was a great golf dad, never put a lot of pressure on me. He wanted me to love playing golf. If I didn't play well, he'd always hug me. He never tortured me by asking me why I didn't play well or what was I thinking. He always hugged me, and he said, "Let's just go work a little harder." And I think that's why I was able to accomplish what I did, because I had a dad that really understood the emotions of golf, and he knew I wasn't trying to play bad. I was always trying to play good. So he was always such a great supporter and just helped me to love the game.
What's your favorite book?
Favorite book? Oh, boy. The Giving Tree. I used to read that to my kids, and that was one of my favorite books.
And finally, what's your favorite pizza topping?
My favorite pizza topping would be pepperoni, hamburger, and extra cheese.
And then I actually had one more question.
Okay.
Talking about playing Happy, you reminded me of it. I believe you recently starred in Happy Gilmore too. Can you talk a little bit about that experience?
Well, I don't know why they called me out of the blue. Nancy, we're going to do Happy Gilmore #2. And they said it had been 29 years since the first Happy Gilmore. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that. And I said, sure. And then it was hard to get the dates because Nelly and I were in the same scene. And so they wanted us to both be there. So it was hard finding a date. So we finally did. We flew to New Jersey. Of course, I was thrilled. I thought, this is so great. I was so nervous. I only had one line, and I was like so nervous. But it was so much fun, and Adam Sandler was the director, and he was helping us that day. And we were, like I said, we were in New Jersey. It was an old school, so there were bars on the windows, and it looked like a prison. The toughest thing, besides being nervous delivering my one line and acting, serious, when Shooter did his part of freaking out, after Nelly asked if he had, what if he saw Adam with a yellow or gold jacket. And when he did that freak out, it was so, we did it probably 25 to 30 times. And every time he did it, it got funnier and funnier. And I didn't know if the camera was on me, and you're trying not to laugh because you're supposed to be serious. And I was like really struggling with that because he got better and better. It was hysterical to watch it. So, being a part of that was really fun. And then meeting Adam Sandler he was just so nice. I always say, I was an Adam Sandler fan, I think. I didn't really, when I watched his movies, I enjoyed his humor. But I didn't really know if I would like him if I met him. But he was just such a nice man. He was very humble, loves his family. So it was just really a great experience. And then the premiere was really cool. We went to New York, and the premiere was on the 21st. Of course, it was shown on the 25th. And just being with everybody that mostly everybody was there that was in the movie. It was really like, Hollywood. And when we walked on it was a green carpet, not a red carpet. Of course, we've got all these photographers. There must have been 50 photographers, taking pictures and yelling your name, Nancy. And I'm like, and I didn't know what to do. I thought I was supposed to, be like a glamour girl or whatever. But it was so much fun and just a great experience. And my husband was more emotional because, people are going to watch you even after you're gone. They're going to see you in this movie. And I never thought about it that way, but I thought that's pretty cool. But it was really fun. And, watching it, because of course, you don't see it till the premiere, and watching what they did and how they used all the guys and how Nelly and I were in there too. And it was really fun. It was a great experience.
And what did you maybe learn about acting, and also going through that with Nelly too? Was there any side conversations that were really funny about acting or anything like that?
I'm a golfer, not an actor or actress, but it's funny because now when you Google me, somebody sent it to me. When they Googled me, it says actress and golfer. So that was kind of fun to see that. I never thought about myself being an actress, but once you're in a movie, you're an actress.
That's incredible. All right, any more questions for Nancy? Thank you so much.
Okay.
Appreciate the time.
Thank you. You're welcome.